Well, NFL quarterback Carson Palmer drafted first overall by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2003. He played the first 8 years of his career with Cincy, making a Pro Bowl appearance 3 times in his 15-year NFL career. And we're pleased to have Carson on set here with us, along with Jonathan Jones and Brady Quinn. And you are brought to us today by Caden Level Select CBD. Can you tell us about your partnership?
Yeah, it's been a great partnership. I played 15 years, as you said. I think I had 6, 7, 8, 9 surgeries. So I've been through a lot of the aches and pains, and it's something I use on a daily basis. My wife uses on a daily basis. Just for the aches, just the knee issues I've had, the elbow issues, the thumb issues, all the injuries that have added up over time. I've got 4 young kids. I'm running around like at all times, coaching, chasing kids. And it helps me keep up with them and keeps the aches and the pains down for me.
Well, you definitely put in all the work there in your NFL career to be able to use some of that stuff. And you were in Cincinnati for such a long time. What do you think it would mean to the city for them to bring back the Lombardi Trophy this year?
I don't know what it would mean. It would be Brady spent a bunch of time in Ohio too, and it's such a passionate fan base. They've waited so long for this. They've had so many ups and downs throughout their following of this team, and they've been to the Super Bowl, but that was three decades ago. So to finally be back, I don't know what would happen in downtown Cincinnati. I want to be a part of it. I want to see it because that fan base deserves this game.
Well, think about this. They just had a pep rally to send the team off. 30,000 fans were in Paul Brown Stadium. We sit out here right now. We can forget, oh, yeah, it's like probably sub 30 degrees there in Cincinnati,
exactly.
Ohio. So they'll be excited. They'll be ecstatic. I want to ask you, though, what do you see as far as the difference of this team and how they've been able to get to this point and just the growth of the past 3 years under their head coach, Zach Taylor?
This team has magic about them. They, when you look at this roster, and when you looked at this roster, and most NFL executives looked at it before the season started, I don't think any one executive would say, "Oh yeah, this has the shapings of a great season. They're probably going to go to the Super Bowl." You would not have assumed that. They got here on grit. They got here on toughness, and they just have that magic. And it might be Joe, and Joe has a certain magic about him. He has a way of leading those guys, and those guys making big plays. But you look back, you think about the AFC Championship game. Joe was sacked 9 times in a game. And nobody knows, you got to be a quarterback to know how demoralizing it is. Yeah. But to come out with a win and find a way to win when you're constantly on your back and your offensive linemen are pulling you up off the ground. Hey, sorry, man, he took an outside move and spun inside. When you consistently do that all game long, it's so difficult to find a way to win. This team just has a certain magic about them.
Carson, you talk about that magic. You talk about this roster. I talk a lot, and I've said even here on CBS Sports HQ about it's really hard to win when franchises don't spend a lot of money. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they don't have a large scouting department. They don't have the resources of a number of teams. You obviously lived that, but does that make it even more incredible that they're able to be here with the few resources that they do have relative to other NFL franchises?
Just compare that organization to the LA Rams. And from ownership, from Les Snead and Mike Brown on down to Stan Kroenke and Les Snead, and there is no GM in Cincinnati, and Les Snead's a phenomenal GM and has made all these moves and all these big splash kind of free agent acquisitions, trades. But at the end of the day, it just, you look at these two rosters, there's an all-star roster of, the Rams have the best defensive tackle in Aaron Donald, the best corner in the game. You can go on and on down the list. And there's a lot of guys that I've talked to that couldn't name many starters outside of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon on the Bengals. So there's just something magic about this team. It's not, this team was not built through through free agency and doing huge acquisitions that get the fan base fired up like a Matt Stafford or a Jalen Ramsey trade. They just haven't had that. They've done it through the draft. They've developed their young talent. They've coached them hard. And now they're here in the Super Bowl, and so that's worked for them this year.
Does Jamar Chase remind you of any of the great wide receivers you played with, or how would you assess what he's been able to do?
He does. I was very fortunate. I played with some great ones. From Chad Ochocinco, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, Larry Fitt. I was really, really fortunate. But they're just, I don't compare him really to anybody in today's game. He's so different. He's like a running back when he gets the ball. The curl he caught against the Raiders midfield and turned inside and outran the entire defense. He does things that you see receivers do. And a little bit like Deebo Samuel. I mean, Deebo Samuel's a great receiver, and he also ended up being a great tailback. Jamar's got that ability. If you needed to, and Joe Mixon went down, I think you could slip Jamar in the backfield and find a way to get some yards, run the ball. He's a little bit like a combo receiver running back player.
But we can't let you go without getting a prediction and a score. What do you think is going to be the outcome of Super Bowl 56?
Should be easy, right?
Yeah,
I think we know where you're going.
I think the Magic is alive for one more game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I can see the Bengals winning, 22 to 17 or something like that. The defense comes alive. They get a couple turnovers. They run the ball. They're able to protect Joe enough and find a way to win this game.
All right, well, Carson, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're not going anywhere. Much more coming your way from our beautiful set in Los Angeles as we get set for Super Bowl 56. This is presented to you by Capital One. Live from LA all week long. More interviews, more coverage as we get set for kickoff. Don't go anywhere.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.